How's it going, everyone? Welcome to What's Your Drive. We got another episode. We have an awesome co-host, Mr. Tuesday over here.
Hey, what up?
Clap it up for him. And today our special guest is Matt.
How's it going?
So we're gonna get to know him. You want to introduce yourself, Matt?
Sure. My name is Matt Friscia, 31 years old. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I drive a 2016 Nissan 370Z. It is a base, but I love the Nismo front and rear bumper, so I went ahead and put those on. Currently naturally aspirated, but thanks to this guy, he has convinced me to join the dark side of Boost world. So fingers crossed that'll be happening here soon.
It is the cleanest 370 in Charlotte. I'm telling you right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. That his Z is pretty clean.
I try to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I respect all builds. Some people do the big wings and all sorts of crazy stuff. I just like to keep it classy, simple. Yeah, a good head turner. So, yeah.
That it is.
Pretty awesome.
Thank you, guys.
That it is.
So, what got you into cars?
I thought about this question, and I think it's in my blood. As a kid, even before Fast and the Furious came out, we literally have Gran Turismo, the video game, that really got me into it. Just fixing up your cars, putting different wheels on it, upgrading them. Even as a kid, I would pick out a random car, and then I would just go make a parts list for it as if I owned that car. So grab a Corvette, let's put a Borla exhaust on, let's do a AEM intakes or whatever, and just kind of build a wish list for it. And I don't know, I just always had a thing for cars. It's in my blood. Can't get away from it.
I think that's something
I think everybody has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of cursed with it, I guess.
I guess. I mean, from the movies to the video games, Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
It's just.
But do you do it with every car that you like, or is it specific cars? Could you take a RAV4 and do the same thing?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not against anything. I mean, you slam anything and put wheels on it, it looks amazing.
That is true.
Saying.
I don't know about everything, but
Well, for the most part, anything you put wheels and lower it just completely changes the.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Absolutely.
For example, think about a LS400, the Lexus.
okay.
It looks like a standard family car. You put some wheels on it, slam it to the ground.
I love a big body
you got
Lexus. Yeah.
Now you got a mean machine right there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So Matt, what do you do for a living in order to afford, this hobby?
This hobby. Without going too far into it, I am a defense contractor for General Motors. More or less, we build safety vehicles for the military and very important people. I don't know how far I could go into that.
No, I mean, that's perfect.
But I think that's a good gist of what we do. It's really fulfilling. I love the hours. I love the pay. And just like you said, it definitely helps pay for the hobby because I really don't. I really don't have any other vices. That's the thing. I'll play video games here and there, but even my wife sees it. She's like, you love touching your car. You love tinkering with it. I'm like, anything I could do to change it, make it look better, sound better, I'm all for it. So even my friends' cars, even today, we might be working on both these gentlemen's cars, and why not? Why not?
It's always fun, and it definitely is like a stress reliever.
It is a therapy. Yep.
The other thing was, I know you've worked for Tesla and then race shops before. What's the difference between working for Tesla, which is a super technical company, and then going to work at a race shop and not doing what you're doing? What is your biggest take out of all three?
My biggest take is, just respectfully, no one knows what they're doing. Everyone's faking it. So you look at Tesla from the outside and you think, oh wow, they got their shit together. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear, but
no, you can.
cool. They got their shit together, and then you get on the inside and you realize that's not what it's all about. I loved the idea of Tesla, just wasn't for me. Really cool idea, cool concept. I love gasoline, so I left Tesla. I went to a race shop, learned so much, especially about the VQ platform. Learned a lot. Very grateful for it. It's actually helping me prepare my car for Boost. But biggest takeaways just from the knowledge, the people, the experiences, just That's what life is all about, just experiences. And I'm very grateful to meet the people at all my places of previous employment, and the knowledge and experiences I got from it. I mean, that's the biggest takeaway for me.
That was a pretty good answer, honestly. So, what has been your biggest sacrifice in order to afford the hobby, to do what we do, like that you could think of?
It's a good question. I like that. Biggest sacrifice for me, it kind of naturally happened, but I stopped going out as much. I used to be a big drinker, and there's nothing against anyone who drinks and does stuff like that, but just seeing how much money I was wasting at the bar, started transitioning that into savings and investments, and then I was able to build a nice cushion to where I could afford my car. And you know, it's funny, I told my wife I would keep it stock. Yeah, you see how well that worked, right? I lied to her. I'm sorry, honey. No, I just, even as a little kid, just loved making my car personal. Nothing against anyone out there. I just don't want to drive a regular traffic car. Yes, there's 370s out there, but why not make mine? Oh, there goes Matt. You know, you see J-Rod's car on the street, you know it's J-Rod. You see Chris's car on the street, you know it's Chris. Like, I just, yeah. I don't want to get too far into it, but my biggest sacrifice is just
the point of this culture, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's everyone wants to have their own unique thing, and yes, I was telling you guys today and yesterday there's a new part out for my car, and I want it so bad, but I know everyone on the market is going to jump on the bandwagon and get it. So now I have to figure out a way to make it my own, and that's the point of this culture, is to bring something that identifies your car as yourself. And
absolutely.
that's the uniqueness of this thing that we're in, right? So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to make it your own, and take your time. Also, like,
There's no
it's
rush.
your car.
Exactly.
It's not going anywhere. So
Yeah.
do your research. If you want to buy something, make sure you buy a quality part.
Exactly.
So you're not going back later and then be like, damn.
Doing something twice.
I
We
should have
spoke
bought
about
that.
that
Yeah.
the first time. Yeah,
Because it's
don't
like,
do things half-assed.
Right.
yeah, do your research, and everybody's allowed to have their own opinion.
Of course.
You just go with what you think is right for you.
Exactly. And I mean, all three of us know this, but, and for the people watching, build your car for yourself. I mean, yeah, it's cool for the clout and the likes and everything, but if it's something you love, do it. Like, don't worry about the criticism. If you're going to put this big wing on your car, who cares what people think? If that's something you love, go for it, man. That's what I respect. That's why, and you know, to a point, the whole respect all builds logo or slogan, whatever, to a point, but I think it is cool seeing different people bring different flavors.
Styles.
Yeah, you know, you got the boosted 370, or you got the low and slow 370. You got a little bit of, you know, I respect it all. So yeah, just do it for yourself. Who cares what people think?
What about the missing bumpers and the missing?
I don't know people's financial situations, so you know, maybe they're going through it. You know, I can't judge someone, you know. But hey, whatever. If that's their style, bumperless, go for it.
So what's the first modification you remember doing to a car, either your 370 or just when you first got into cars?
Tint. It is the first thing that goes on my car. Like when I got my 370, 24 hours, tint was on it. I'm not into the whole fishbowl thing. Not that I have anything to hide, just tint really drastically changes the look of a car. Generally after that, I'll do like little LEDs. I'm really big into lighting, these gentlemen know. So I'll do like the map lights, the license plate lights, marker lights, anything I can make white to kind of give it that newer futuristic look. That's usually what I go for.
Like, that does a lot. Like the tints and switching out like the little to LEDs, from regular, like amber lights, like I feel like it does a lot for the car.
In my opinion, it just makes it feel more expensive. It makes you feel like you're getting a nice luxury car. That's just my opinion. Then wheels. I do suspension kind of after I do the wheels, because I want to see where the wheels are going to poke out and how they're going to, you know, work with the geometry of the suspension. But I would go like wheels, then suspension. That would be kind of like my little list. Then you can go from there.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Most people would. Sorry to cut you off. Most
Yeah.
people would do it the opposite way, I would think.
Suspension first.
and then,
And then
get the wheels.
True.
At least
True.
that's how I did it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna drop the car and then
See where it goes
whatever
from there.
wheels I can get that I like, I'll get them. But
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Don't be sorry.
That's fine. That's what we're here for, to ask questions and talk about it. So what keeps you inspired in the car culture? Being, you know, like you have all the crap going on with like takeovers and all these other people that use cars to do dumb shit that are not
Right.
real car enthusiasts.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because Chris hosted a meet not too long ago, last Saturday, Sunday,
Sunday.
last Sunday, and I'm not just saying this because he's here, but that meet was tamed. There was no one revving, doing anything stupid. At least me that day, I got to meet a lot of people in the car community I never knew before. It was a good way to interact. To simply touch on your question, it's just building those connections and networking with people. I don't want to get all cliche, but it is kind of like a family. And when you need someone or you need something, those people could be there and you can depend on them one day. So, the takeover meets, I'll say that's for the young crowd. I mean, I've been to one of them. I see the appeal to it, but it is really ruining the whole car community as a whole. Me personally, I just try to find the little glimmers of light that there are good people in this community that care, and you guys want to build each other up, and I think that's what gives me the hope is there are still good people. I don't let a few bad fruits ruin the whole tree.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Even though a lot of them have made it, so it's very difficult for somebody like Chris that started, your own car crew. You're starting to look at venues in order to host car meets. It makes it very difficult for you because now everybody, let's say you go, Run the Brew is the place that you started hosting your meet in Indian Land. So like for them to see the car community, if you type up car meets, let's say on YouTube or Google, whatever, the first crap is gonna pop up is people doing takeovers and
Sliding.
burns and stuff.
Yep.
So it's always a liability for I guess whoever owns or is renting a venue where you decide to host your meet. And then that becomes a liability on you and on your name that you can't control the crowd.
Exactly.
It becomes very hard. There's been a lot of meets that have been shut down.
And
due to
people
that
don't
reason.
realize how hard it is to get these venues, how hard it is to get businesses to agree to a bunch of lowered, loud, lifted, it doesn't matter, all these different vehicles to come into a parking lot and just park. But some people have to ruin it for the rest of us. So it's a shame.
And sometimes people don't respect the venue itself because, like,
Exactly.
let's say you go get coffee, right? A lot of places don't have a lot of trash cans.
Right.
But the places that do have trash cans, people don't care. They just throw the trash, and then whoever's hosting the meet has to stay there like an hour to clean up the whole damn parking lot because everybody throws trash everywhere.
I will say thankfully that since we've been doing it for, to be the third month coming up in July here, or August, we haven't had that issue,
Good.
which is great. But at the same time, it's not huge, which is a good thing because, I was looking at photos the other day, and it's nice to see one car there by itself. And for all the photographers out there, that's like key. You don't have to have the car like squished in between each other car.
Good point.
And that's a nice thing, but yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, they're only going to get bigger, man. Just wait.
I hope so.
Yeah, they will. They
So
will.
what has been your favorite memory of being in the car community and a car enthusiast?
I'll just put it in like a collective subject. It's just those cruises with the friends, going on drives, even if there's no destination, just getting in the car and just aimlessly driving somewhere. That is my therapy. Like I hate when people are like, let's go here for lunch, let's go do this. I don't care. Let's just get in the car and go. We bought these things to drive them. Let's drive them. Let's go have fun.
I agree. I just love driving. I tell people all the time. I was like, when we go to a car meet, yeah, getting to the event is cool.
Yeah.
But the coolest part is going to the meetup spot where you roll like 10, 15
Yep.
cars. Even if it's just 3 of you, it's just dope for you guys to be riding down the highway together.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to do it very often. So I think
The first Cars and Coffee we went to, Hannah brought her Z. She was giggling at us because we had Soho's, I think it was Nizzy, right?
Yeah.
That was there. Your car, my car. Hannah, my wife, she has a 370. And she gets it now, but at the time she was like, you guys just look like your little posse. Like you guys are just all had Z's. You guys are all rolling to the same parking lot. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do. This is what we live for. Yeah.
So-
Every weekend.
Yep, yeah.
what was the first car that you saw that you was like, damn, I want to get into cars? That just like blew your mind.
Wow. It's probably either going to be the Mark IV Supra. And I've always had a thing for, I don't know, me personally, I've always been like a JDM guy. So I've always liked the NSXs, the RX-7s. So anything like 90s generation, I think that's what really was just like, oh, turbos, stick shift, yeah.
Since like
I think this age group here.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
the word I was
And
looking
then you
for.
go ask a boomer, they'll tell you about the Camaros and Mustangs. So I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know if there's one specific car. I would say the 90s
Just the
JDM.
collective
Yeah,
90s.
just always had a soft spot for them.
So what was your first car?
So my very first car, it technically is the 300ZX Nissan. So I know we have, I know we have that in common. Sorry.
What was yours? Did you say
At least on maximum.
But
you were still a Nissan fan?
when I was like 14, 15, my father and I were driving through a neighborhood and we found a red Miata underneath a tree, just covered in moss and just abandoned. We got it for a really good deal. My father and I started fixing up the Miata here and there, and then on my 16th birthday, it was kind of like a gift to me. So I thought that was cool that, you know, I got to build that memory with my father and build the car, and then it became my first car. However, at 16 years old, my mom said, "This car's way too small for you. You got to get rid of
Your
it."
mom.
Of course, my mom. So don't mess with a South American woman. I'll tell you that. So whatever mom says, I'm gonna do it. So sold the Miata, and not that I went behind her back, but I started talking to my father, and I was like, "Hey, I found a white 300ZX in Miami. It's around the same price. Like I could pretty much get it." So my dad had someone who trailers cars or hauls. Trying to think.
Car transport?
Yeah, transporter. So one night, the guy shows up at 11 o'clock at night, and there it is. It's a 1990 white 300ZX, non-turbo, but it was old lady owned, and I think it had like 72,000 miles at the time.
Yeah, that's pretty
So I was just in awe. And that was my introduction to the Z world. So that is why my Instagram is last letter. So the last letter is Z, first love. Because technically it was like my first love. When I got that 300ZX, I knew it was something special. And then when I would go to Z Days, I started realizing how big the community was, and especially like the older group with like the Datsuns. I saw what it was, and I was like, oh yeah, the Z community is something special. Then now I got a 370, and I'm just probably gonna get the new Z after that. We'll see where we go from here. But
Did you ever get the 350Z?
never.
Never?
No, I had a G35 sedan before this.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing. Just
I had the DE.
yeah,
I did have the DE. I honestly wanted to kind of get the 350 before the 370, but an opportunity presented itself, and I had to jump on the 370.
yeah,
So
that makes sense.
yeah.
So, in your opinion, what are the pros and cons of owning the 370Z?
Pros. I'll give you like 3 of each. The pros, the looks. I mean, it's a sharp looking car. It's a quick car, and it's very reliable for it being a sports car. I have a 2016, so my gallery gaskets are good. I do have a clutch, flywheel, and CSC delete on the way. I would consider that the con is the factory CSC. I mean, it will leave you stranded.
For those that don't know, it's the internal slave. They burn it back to the external slave cylinder, so your clutch pedal won't get stuck, and it won't be a pain in the ass. You got to take the transmission off in order to replace it.
Exactly. Thank you for
Because if it's
clarifying. Yeah.
leaking, you would never know it's leaking because it's leaking inside the
Inside the transmission, which Nissan, like, we gotta have a talk. Like, I'm not against engineers or anything, but why? And here's the thing: the 370 was out from 2009 to what? 2021, 2020.
It was still the same thing.
What are we doing? We knew that was a problem. What are we doing? But yeah, I would say that would be a con. It would be the CSC, the slave cylinder. Sometimes the blind spots.
Yeah.
Sometimes because we have these little windows right behind the seats, and they are useless. So I mean, that would be another con. And then,
Well, the pro is you can put your Instagram name.
not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, not to sound biased, I really don't have many cons on my car. I love it.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah.
It's always hard to find a car that I think that you don't have too many cons. It's always good to
Yeah,
look for like the pros on the car.
exactly.
Unless you're that type of person who likes to fix things.
Constantly though, like I love tinkering with my
That's
car,
the
but
case
whew.
in a Land Rover then.
And that was another reason that kept me in the Z community is just like not only the people, but just having friends that work on these cars gives me that extra knowledge, and it's like I said, it's good.
That's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get into like a niche of cars, I guess, and then have nobody to relate to or ask questions to. You always got to rely on forums, the internet, and
You know
that
how
shit
that
could
goes.
take you through like a rabbit hole if you go into a forum and then
Page 17.
somebody will ask you questions, and then everybody will start talking about the most random thing.
Yep.
You're there for like 2 hours reading through all these dang comments, hoping somebody put the answer in there.
Yeah, so I was driving my Z today in Wyoming. Oh, my sister's from Wyoming. It's like, we don't need this
Bro,
input.
that has nothing to do with it.
We don't need this input. Thanks though.
So, if you were to recommend a first car to someone that's just getting into cars, what would it be?
Like a sports car or just a car in general?
Well, since you like JDM, what JDM car would you recommend?
As a first car, if we're going for reliability, I'm gonna be that guy, like a Honda Accord, because you could still make them look good.
Absolutely.
I think Toyota is just reliable, man. Anything Toyota, as long as you don't get like a cheapo car, like a Corolla, a Camry, you could really make those look good. And it's a Toyota; it's got that name behind it, so you're gonna get the reliability. And you would think, with me being a Nissan guy, Nissan Infiniti would be the first one, but I think a Nissan Infiniti should be your second car. I think you should appreciate your first car, trash that one, develop love for owning a car, and then go get yourself a nice Nissan or Infiniti, and then
That's a pretty good answer. Like, get your foot in the door, learn how to change your tires.
Thank
your
you.
oil,
Yeah.
Your wiper blades.
Yeah, screw
And then
that one up a little bit.
Just be like, alright.
Yeah,
Go to it like so. People have this misconception that they need to have a modified car to go to car meets.
no, not necessarily.
Don't like you come up to a car meet. Like that's why I love like cars and coffee and stuff like you doing. Hosting a car meet.
Yep.
Because if you want to get into cars, you could always go there, and people that are into cars love nothing more than to talk about the damn car.
Exactly.
They'll talk
Yep.
to you for hours about their
That's
car.
the point.
Yeah.
So like
the whole
if
point of the
you
meet.
want to get into cars, by all means, just pull up to a Cars and Coffee.
Literally.
Ask, get online, be like, hey, where do car meets happen? Somebody will tell you,
Yeah.
and you could go see other different cars, and then you'll be like, oh, that's cool. And then if you think you like a car, 99% chance that you're gonna see it there, and you go talk to the owner, and they can give
Exactly.
you some insight.
Exactly. And for those who have like stage fright of meeting new people, literally just go up to a car that you're interested in, compliment something. Hey, I'm Matt or I'm blank. Just break the ice with them. You meet people. Networking is huge. You don't realize how big. When you know people, it makes a huge difference. And even if you're just like bored on a weekend, hey, I need something to do. Hey, we're going for a cruise. We're gonna go get lunch. Meet us up here.
Yeah.
It's good to have those extra people in your life. So yeah.
So, what is your dream car, or is your 370Z your dream car?
Man. So realistically obtainable one would be the GTR. Yeah. See, the R35, even R34, R33. R32s are cool, but I think R33 would be like my cutoff. Mark IV Supra. As much as I hate to say it, supercars aren't really my thing. I do appreciate a Lamborghini, a Porsche, a Ferrari. I do. Ooh, okay. GT3 RS. I mean, come on. Can't go wrong with it. I mean, it's a Porsche. You gotta love it. But yeah, realistically, if it's obtainable, R35.
R35?
Yeah.
That's not bad. So that means that if somebody came and offered you the right price for your 370Z, you would sell it.
If the cards were in line and I wasn't gonna roll over negative equity or whatever the case may be, then yeah.
Would you take 25?
I got $3.
I
Yeah.
started bidding more. Everybody started hitting up back to his Instagram.
Yeah.
The wheels are not on the deal.
Yeah. No.
The wheels are not happening.
Yeah. It's either gonna be that. Probably my next, if you will, upgrade. I'd probably get the new Z.
The New Z? I like the New Z.
I like it.
The markup
Oh, yeah.
thing is just ridiculous.
I was just at Scott Clark's Nissan, and they had the white Nismo sitting in the showroom.
Uh-huh.
Lady walked up to me. She goes, "Oh, I saw your 370. Like, would you be interested in trading in?" I'm like, "I'm gonna entertain it. Let's see what happens." So I saw the sticker. I think it was like, don't quote me, 6570, and then it said dealer markup. Brought it up to $98,000. I was like,
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, lady. Like, I can't do it. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
You're not wrong. The markup's ridiculous these days.
That's like a T-Spec GTR, almost.
That's what I told him. I was like, I might as well get a GTR.
Yeah. Or entry level, like, supercar.
Exactly. It's just not worth it for me right now. And me personally, I'm not the... everyone's different. Some people have to have the new thing, the new iPhone, the new car. In my opinion, in my experience, the first generation of any car always has the most issues. That's the first one off the production line. They're gonna miss a few things. They're gonna miss a few, like the CSC, for example. Why they didn't fix it, I don't know. But the first generation of a car is always going to have the most problems. So I always kind of let a few years go by, let them kind of work out the kinks, and then get, maybe a 2026, 2027Z if they're still producing them. But
This Nissan, they'll do it for a decade.
and never change anything.
They'll do it for a decade.
And never change anything. Nissan, what are we doing? Don't get me wrong. I love the way the 370. I love the way the GTR looks. But dude, that's 10 years plus on both of them.
And they still look exactly.
No, it's little things here and there,
It's
but
the same way.
dude,
It's the same exact. Same
whatever. It's not broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Yeah. So what do you think is the biggest disadvantage of being a car enthusiast?
No monies. I have no money, man. Honestly, there's really, in my opinion, I don't think there is a disadvantage. It's such therapy for me to work on my car, drive my car, be around car guys. This is just me. I don't see any disadvantages of being into cars. I mean, there's people who are hooked on drugs. There's people who play video games all day, and if you make money and that's your vice, that's on you. That's just not for me. Yeah, it's all pluses for me.
Yeah.
I don't have any disadvantages being a car guy. I'm all for it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I take no shame, especially like when I'm around my non-car friends, and I see like a car roll by. They roll their eyes. Oh, let me guess. You know what exhaust is on it? I'm like, yes,
I do.
Oh, yep, that was it. I'll be looking over here. Oh, that's a Mustang, and then there's a Mustang. So my friends are just like, whatever.
They get tired of you.
I don't care. No shame. I'm not gonna change up.
shame.
Yeah, I'm not gonna change up who I am. Whatever. Even Hannah, my wife, she'll say the same thing. We'll be out to dinner, and like I'll hear it. And every car, if you're a true car guy, every car has that note, and you know what it is. Mustangs, they have that certain tone. Mopar, they have that rasp. And it's just like Subaru, they have the horizontally opposed engine. You know what a Subaru sounds like.
That boxer engine.
That boxer engine. And it's just funny because she thinks it's a gift. I'm just like, no,
No, it's a lot of people.
been around it long enough, you just know.
For more inspiring content, follow What's Your Drive on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, comment, or share. And now, back to the video.
If you could go back, and give yourself a piece of advice with the knowledge you have now, what would it be?
Yeah. So first one would be definitely buy Bitcoin, especially for how cheap it was back in the day. I mean, we wouldn't even be worried about money right now. So that would be my first piece of advice. But second thing, when it comes to like your car, just have better planning. You don't want to, go all in and say, I'm going to make this a drift missile. And then later on decide to make it like a, stand show car. Kind of, when you delete everything out of the car, it's kind of like no going back. So I would definitely try to plan your build a lot better. That way you can have a better idea of where to go with it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion on exposing a shop that did something wrong or did you wrong or did like bad quality work on social media? Like, what is your opinion on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think everyone's experience is different, so it's very subjective at that point. I've taken my car to shops where I've personally had a horrible experience, but I have friends that went to that very same shop, and they have nothing but great news, great information. Oh, they always take care of me. They get me in and out real quick, but it just wasn't for me at this particular shop. As far as going on social media, in my opinion, I don't 100% agree with doing it. I did custom headlights for a while, and my biggest thing is I want someone to come to me first to see if we could fix the situation. If it gets to a point where I can't fix it and you feel it's in your heart to put me on blast, then that's on you. I can't stop you. It's your right. I think personally it's immature, but I think the person should at least give the shop owner, shop, company a chance before they just start blasting them.
Yeah, but people get emotional.
Very good point.
It is hard for you not to. People get angry.
Yep.
And frustrated about their car. Like was saying earlier, my car's like my other daughter, right? Like anything happens to it, I'm gonna be very upset and frustrated about it.
Get it?
And if you don't get resolution, what's the next best thing?
Exactly.
But no, I get why.
Yeah. It wouldn't be
you
my.
shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first thing I do. It wouldn't be like
Right,
that
right.
experience I need to run on Facebook or Instagram. It would have to. I would have to be pushed over the edge to get me to that point. But yeah, I mean, I get it. The emotions.
Yeah, there's a limit. There's a limit
Yeah,
to where you
those
get.
emotions kick in, man. That's how it is.
Definitely. So now we have what is called a game round.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you 2 questions, and then you're gonna have 3 seconds to pick.
Okay.
You ready?
Oh man, let's
Where
go.
the fun begins right here.
Oh boy.
So the first one goes is Toyota Supra MK4 or R34 GTR.
Oh, I can already see it. I see it. I'm gonna go with the Supra.
What?
Yeah. There's something about the 2J, man. It's just I love the Toyota Supra so
I
much.
respect that.
Yeah, I'm a Nissan guy. I love it. Love my Nissans, but I see a Mark IV. I drool. I can't help it, man.
As long as you didn't say Mark V.
Yeah. I mean, beautiful cars, just not for me.
Not for you.
No.
So,
Sorry, BMW guys.
Yeah, sorry.
do you prefer bags or coilovers?
We're going with the answer. I'm gonna go with coils, but also depends on your living situation, like the town you live in. It also depends on the use of the car. Is this a daily driven car? Is this a show car? I'm gonna go coils though for the longevity of like having a quality car, something that drives. I'm gonna go coils.
Fair with me, I'll pick
Especially good quality. Like don't go get like Godspeed or eBay quality Manzo.
Coilovers.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're gonna have
Listen,
a bad time.
don't skimp on your tires. Don't skimp on your suspension. If you're gonna
Brakes.
thank you. And you gotta stop. You gotta stop the car. But yeah, something about like skimping out on suspension parts just doesn't set right with me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like
No.
the one thing that connects you to the road.
Why? Why would you skimp on that? Yeah, I agree.
So turbo or supercharger?
I'm gonna go supercharger personally. This is just my thing. Nothing against the boost lag, which he's gonna give me a ride in it later. So we might have to re-record this and get a different response after I go for a ride in his Z. But something about just having that push it down and it's just linear. It's whatever it is NA just multiplies it with the supercharger. So at least for a VQ, I think supercharger is the way to go.
Okay.
But I'm sorry. Yeah, I know you're gonna probably change my mind after
Well, I
this.
mean, I've had both.
Okay.
I like both.
Okay.
They,
Yeah, but you have to pick one.
I'll
If you had to pick
I'll
one.
go turbo.
Yeah, I figured.
Because of the limiting factor with the supercharger about making more power, it's easier to make it with
That's what I've been reading. I have been reading that.
That's
You did
the
mention-
only reason.
Matt, you did mention you like the linear power.
I do.
It's the
I do.
yeah.
And I think when the day comes I do boost mine, probably gonna get hate for this. I would look into the recirculatory, yeah, so it's not as loud. I love the whoosh, I love it. I don't
You
know.
want it to be a little more quiet.
Yeah, a little bit more tamed. Yeah, I think that
I
would.
wish I had that option.
Yeah.
I don't. I have to have recirculate. Like you can put blow off valves on. But sorry, go ahead.
Oh, share, talk.
You can put blow off valves on the VRs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not recommended.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, you talk to Mark from Sonic Tune. He has a great write up on it. It's not great for your turbos apparently. So
Good to know. Okay, I learned something.
Yours are internal wastegate too, right?
yeah,
Can you do external
I was
wastegate?
just gonna say, can you do external?
can. I think you can.
Because if you do some dumps, it might be pretty loud, like my car.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
So narrow body, like stock body, or wide body?
To answer the question in 3 seconds, I'm going to go natural body, narrow body. Yep. But I sure do love a wide body car. It takes a lot of commitment to cut up your car, and if it's done right, it looks amazing. But yeah, I'm going to go with the natural body, the natural curves of the car.
Yeah, I feel like some cars just don't have a lot of like body kits available for its market. So that's what makes it so hard. So if you cut up a car, like we were talking about Chris's car, it doesn't have that many options. You cut it up, like what is it, Liberty Walk or
Well, see, Liberty Walk doesn't have a wide body. They just have bumpers. And kits, but there's only like one, maybe two wide bodies and you have to be committed to cut up your car.
Exactly.
And I respect that so much because
Same.
we got a buddy, John, who's cut up he's got a Stinger, and he did it
Beautiful.
last year, and he cut it up, and my jaw dropped. I was like, "You really did that?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." But you know, that's one thing, you got to be committed to say, "All right, I'm going to cut it up," and you know, if you decide to change, you got to either go back to stock OEM fenders and quarter panels, or try to get a body shop to clean it all up, and that's
Not a cheap road.
yeah, and you have to keep the car, right? Either that or find somebody who really wants it and sell it to them. But
Yeah.
that's a tough decision to make in itself.
Now, like I think we were talking about this earlier. If the car is a salvage title,
Yes, that's another thing.
I say if you have the funds and you don't care about the resale value of the car,
Yeah.
cut it up.
Yeah.
Why not? I would definitely. If the car's paid off and
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it, definitely might as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So this is I guess like a funny question.
Okay.
Do you remember people by their names or their cars?
Oh no, I got people saved in my phone. Like it'll be like Chris BRZ. It'll be Chris Q50. It just makes it easier for me. I don't know what it is, and I could have like 4 Chris's, but if it says Chris Q50, I know exactly who it is. So it just yeah, guilty.
Yeah, I think everyone's like that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely that way. If I like somebody will tell me their name and it's just one ear.
Yep. Oh, but you drive that white Prelude? Gotcha. All right.
The Prelude on back.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
That's Tony.
Yeah, exactly.
I know who Tony is.
Yeah.
So what song do you listen to that just makes you want to drive fast?
Oh man. I'm into a lot of stuff. I like my kind of like my punk rock kind of thing, some screamo. Anything that kind of gets the
blow.
yeah, just like the bass, and because I have a system in my car, so once that bass starts going, I'm like, all right, I kind of just go into my own little world and disappear. Yeah, same with you.
Chris?
Billie Eilish. No.
Am I here to judge?
No.
I am. That's like
I only say that because my 13-year-old daughter is a huge fan, so that's all I've been hearing.
Oh,
But,
bless your heart.
yeah. No, I'm a '90s kid. I'm an old head. You know, from obviously you guys know old podcasts, but I'm a '90s head. It's all '90s hip hop. My IGs are all '90s. That's just me.
I love it.
Wu-Tang.
There you go.
Wu-Tang will make me go 90. Allegedly.
In Mexico.
In Mexico. Allegedly.
I think I'll pick some either reggaeton or some like
Yeah.
dubstep.
Yeah.
Dubstep music.
All good music. All good. As long as it's not like folk bluegrass, you know, bing, bada, bing, bing. As long as it's not that, I think, you know, it'll get the blood going.
You'll be surprised of like I've been listening to soft like calming music.
Oh, now you want to judge? All right, it's time to judge.
Or like R&B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Some slow jams.
I'm listening to so I feel like I was with the music era. I was born in the wrong time.
So
I like old
Feel
school
that.
music like jazz and all that.
Oh, okay.
Listening to.
I'm sorry. I would not expect jazz to come out of your mouth. Okay.
So the thing is, like when I was growing up, my mom listened to a lot of old school like Spanish, like really slow songs.
Yep.
You know, from back in the day. So I think that translated into like English music. 'Cause
Gotcha.
It's like almost the same rhythm. So my mom used to play this one artist that would just fall asleep listening to it every night. She'll take the little cassette, flip it over in the middle of the night, and then hit play, and then I'll hear that all night long. So I think maybe that's why like I like such like old school classic music.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
Yeah. I told Alex about that. She was like, really?
Yeah,
I'm
I
surprised.
learned something new about you. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So for people that go to car meets,
Yes.
what's car meet one-on-one etiquette?
If you see everyone else is backed in, back your car in. Don't be that guy who pulls in. We all know there's always that one person. If you are bringing, and I want to say this respectfully, if you are bringing a regular traffic car, and I'm going to say this like this, a Honda Odyssey that's not lowered, that has no wheels, and you park beside a 700 horsepower Shelby GT500 or a GTR, you're kind of ruining the flow. There should be a section where if you want to spectate and look, respect the parking spots. And I know that sounds very
Asshole-ish.
asshole-ish and very yeah, just kind of like
Like
Yeah, uppity, I guess. But seriously, I hate going to a meet and I'm like, okay, Audi R8, GTR, Corolla with Amazon Underglow. What are we doing?
AutoZone special.
Yeah, the AutoZone, like, and when I'm saying Corolla, like a stock ass Corolla, nothing done, but it has the AutoZone lights underneath, and it's just like, damn. So I think just kind of like be aware of your surroundings. I understand some parking spots are tight, and there's not parking for everybody, but try to keep the flow and the etiquette the right way. Just the feng shui of the car
Here's
meet.
my question. Do you think, taking that a step further, should it be domestic, JDM, or a mix of everything, a whole bag?
Yeah, see, that's a good question because I've been to some meets where you got all your Mustang boys all lined up, and I get it. You guys want to get out of the car and talk with each other. Like you and I parked recently beside each other. We had both 370s there. Yeah, cool. I don't know. I don't know if I have like a preference. I think it's good if it's mixed up, because then it kind of forces the Lexus guys to talk to the Hyundai guys, or the Ford guys talking to the Dodge guys. So but I do understand the whole, like, let's park beside our people, like all the BMWs, all the Mustangs, the Zs and Gs. It's nice.
Do you think that poses an intimidation factor when approaching a section of the lot, or?
I never really thought of it that way. I never thought about it being like intimidating.
Past a bunch of Corvette, like the Corvette guys, or the BMW guys, or Toyota guys, like, or does that not even factor in?
It's not something I really think of. However, I will call myself out. There's a couple times at Cars and Coffee, the big Cars and Coffee, where people are sectioned.
You have
your Hondas, you have your Toyotas. And not that there's a certain brand I avoid, but if I see that there's a certain group of cars that I'm really not particularly interested in, I kind of know to stay away from there. Because if I'm not interested in Corollas, for example, nothing against a Corolla owner, but if I see just like 40, 50 Corollas over there, I'm like,
You're like, maybe I should stay away.
Not when I have better cars that I'm more interested. Now, I'm not saying there's people that love Corollas, go to that section, but me personally, if I see 20 GTRs lined up,
Maybe I want to go.
you know which side I'm going to. That's all. So it kind of makes it easier to kind of like, all right, we know not to go there. I don't know how it works for photographers. I don't know if they prefer having it mixed up or having all the Mustangs in a row, or you know what I'm saying?
Being that I just recently started like photography and all that stuff, and car photography, it's just, you could take good pictures like a Cars and Coffee, obviously. So you could, the more you do, the more pictures you take, and the more you practice,
Makes sense.
the better you're gonna get, no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's just always so difficult because people don't have car 101 etiquette. Stop walking in front of photographers, bro.
Ah, that's a good one. I never thought about
You'll
that.
see me here on my knees, squat.
Yeah.
Camera here. You'll walk in front of me, boom. Set
And
your ass in
stop.
front of me, bro. There's a saying in Spanish, like people say, like a cow's meat and it's not transparent. It sounds weird in English, but in Spanish it makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you're standing in front of me, I can take the freaking car.
Exactly. You're not a
Or
window.
say like, excuse me, or
just wait.
2 seconds, I'm gonna take the shot. If you already see me squatting down or bend over,
Exactly.
if I take the picture, bro, just stop for a second.
And 9 times out of 10, if the photographer sees you, they'll either like get their shot or they'll wave you on. Like, just have that courtesy. I agree.
So for photographers, that's probably their biggest pet peeve. 'Cause
I
know
don't blame
definitely
them.
Mine.
Don't blame
But
them.
sometimes you do want to get people like in the foreground or background when you're trying to take the car picture to make the scene more interesting.
Yep.
But that's probably every photographer's pet peeve. It's just when somebody walking by and they stop in front of you, and I know they see you because obviously you're standing there with a camera pointing down when you're just looking at them like.
Some people are laying on their stomach on the ground getting that low shot. Like, how can you not?
People are also oblivious, and
Yeah.
that when you're at a car show, car meet, maybe you're just there's so much stimulation. If I'm walking past a bunch of NSXs, I don't give a shit about the photographers. Like, I'm sorry.
Chris is that guy.
There we go. We found him. We found him.
If you're taking pictures of Corollas, I'll wait.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep walking.
I'm that guy.
That's fucked up. What a friend.
Sorry, not sorry.
But yeah, that's, as a photographer, like, if you into photography, Cardinals I think is a great spot to start.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know where people got this insane like thought process that they don't think there's enough work for everybody
Oh my gosh, so
for
much work.
photography, you know, or like all three of us, let's say we have cameras. We go take picture of an NSX.
Right.
We could take the same freaking picture, but we could edit it completely different.
I was just gonna say we all would have our little style to it.
Little style. So
Yep.
you're not taking any work away from me, bro.
I agree.
I'm gonna take the picture, I'm gonna edit it to my liking, and I'm gonna post it to my Instagram or my Instagram photography page.
I agree with that because when I was doing headlights, I had some people that were just like, "Oh, we're in competition." No. There's. I do my headlights a certain way. You could do your headlights a certain way. Like it doesn't have to be cookie cutter where everything's the same. And you know, not to bring drugs into this, but look how many weed dealers there are.
Yep.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, there's that's a saturated market, yet people are still doing it. So,
Yeah, that is true. And it's like cars, like big thing, car dealerships.
oh yeah,
Bro, there's a car dealership like there'll be a street like Independence.
Independence. Yep, 74.
Car dealership, car dealership.
Yep, one after another.
And it's like bro, everybody's selling cars,
Yeah.
but everybody does it a different way.
Exactly.
Different brands, you know, people buy here, pay here, fucking used cars. Brand, it's just
It's nice to have options.
yes. So you know, I feel like that's a big thing that people don't realize. They feel like there's not enough for everybody, and I'm like, bro,
There's plenty of
I
work
think
out there.
The car community and the photography community go hand in hand because I think we were talking about it earlier. The car community is so everyone has their own unique perspective, right? Same thing with photographers. They have their own very unique perspective. And when you get those different people meshing together, you get a dope ass video, picture, media, whatever it is.
Yep.
I know a bunch of photographers that I'm like, I like your style, I like his style, I like his style. There's some people I would pay $200 for
Exactly.
for freaking a session.
Yep.
There's some people, not him, I ain't paying him nothing.
damn.
No, I'm joking, but I'm joking. But there's other people who I won't pay. I'm like, I just don't like your style. I'm just not into it.
And that's okay.
And yeah, that's
That's fine.
yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. But
You just pick what you like, especially if you're paying for something. Like for example, like if I invite you, like Chris, I'd like for you to come out. Let me take some pictures of your car. I'm not expecting you to pay me anything because I asked you to go out of your way, take time out of your day, waste your gas to come over here so I could take some pictures.
that's
of you.
why I have paid him. Just keep that on the record here, okay?
Yeah.
Let the record show.
Let the record show. He has paid.
I have.
I told him not to, but he's had. But so like if I ask you, I feel like the shoot, the video, whatever is free. Just like we did the R34 and Supra the other day,
Oh, Damon.
a couple of weeks ago.
And
That was free
Jason.
because I asked them to do it.
Right.
And they showed up at 5:45 in the morning to do a sunrise shoot.
Yeah, that was
And it was
fun.
raining. It rained like right before we started. We were like,
Also the ground.
we
Yeah,
gotta
that
do
was
this.
fun. That was
But that was fun. But like, if you ask me, I'm gonna charge you.
Of course, your time is valuable, man.
I know that people always debate on prices for like
Yeah.
photography, and it's like, okay, bro, I'm a busy person.
Right.
I don't have that much time. So like, what you paying for?
Yep.
It's not just for me to go click and take freaking. You paying for my time, because not just I don't have to just take the pictures. I have to go home and edit it. Take time
Exactly.
to edit the. So it's not just the hour that is gonna take me to take your pictures at set location. Now I gotta go home and go through, like, let's say if I took, I don't know, 50 pictures. I gotta go through all the pictures and see which one came out the best,
Right.
which one came out the lighting, or, you know, I'm not in the damn reflection of the car, or whatever.
part-time
Did it come
job.
out blurry?
Oh, for sure.
It's a part-time job. It's something
like-
that you got to do.
I gotta go home and take more time out of my day to do this. So if I charge you a certain price and you think it's too much, that's fine with me. I don't want you as a customer.
Right.
I need you to understand that my time is valuable.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're paying for. Because anybody could just go ahead, copy and paste it. And once you get to that point, you know, like, that's why a lot of people like to take, like, photographers like to take sunset, sunrise pictures. The ambient lighting is perfect.
Makes sense.
It, like,
Yeah.
it's really good, and like the editing for those situations are very similar. So that's just my little rant on it, I guess.
No. good.
A lot of people don't understand though. They just think it's just like, oh, she's gonna take a picture and then I'm just gonna get it, and you know, like right away. Like, nah, bro, it takes time.
It becomes an art at that point.
Yep.
I mean, just like the car community, everyone has their own thing, right? It's an art. You have their own style.
Yeah.
You got to build on that. You got to make your own style happen.
I agree.
In order to be unique for people to like what you do, you gotta be creative and you gotta do your own thing.
Like 20-inch wheels, 20-inch GTR wheels on a 370Z.
That should look good.
Makes it.
And then you look at my car, I got 15 inch
Yeah,
wheels.
you got 15-inch
wheels.
slicks on the
Totally different respect for that, though. Yeah.
You know, the car still looks good.
Yeah. When you see that meat on the back, you know not to mess with it. And people still do.
They do. And mainly like mini bikes. It's very weird for me to catch a race. Like, obviously I daily drive my car, but it's very weird for me to run into somebody that wants to do a pull. Other than somebody like a V6 Camaro or like a V6 Mustang just come by and they do the right side flyby and then they start cutting through traffic.
Yep.
And I'm
Yep.
like, bro, I ain't doing all of that, bro. If you really want to do a pull, just get my attention and we'll do a quick hit. If you want to hear the car, do the same thing. Don't come fly by me expecting
and
me
then-
to fucking chase you.
Yeah, the weaving is not what I'm about. Like, if we have a little bit of a freedom, like a little bit of a road ahead of us, yeah, we could do like a little third, fourth gear pull. Like, you can go a little bit, but
Yeah, I used to do all that crazy shit, you know, cutting up the traffic before, but
it's not worth it.
even then, like, I feel like people like our generation, like, could drive better than the newer idiots that are coming up in the street because I always see them crash. Or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense.
Everyone's so distracted on their phones. You could have total control of your car, but it just takes that one person to look at their phone, go in the right lane as you're trying to go around them.
That happened to me when we were driving to that car meet, the Challenger. So we were cutting up, like, traffic was moving, and
We use a lot of people, by the way.
yeah,
I wasn't.
you were there. He was there. But I'm not gonna say where because people don't know. But we were driving fast on the highway. The right lane opened up, so there was no cars coming on. So I got on the right lane, like in the slow lane, because it was completely open, and I hit it. While I would hit it, this dude, like a couple cars ahead, wasn't paying attention, and I think he's either Scat Pack or I don't know, a Hellcat. They look the fucking same. He cut over all the way from the fast lane, right in front of me. I swear, I thought my bumper touched his, or I pushed him. I had to get over on the shoulder, and I couldn't slow down fast enough because he just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a second.
It was close. I had to lock him up.
That'll pucker the butt up a little bit. It's like, woo!
And then, like, so he came over and didn't speed up. That was the problem because he was like trying to, you know, do the same shit. Was I mad at the time? I was like, this MF, you know,
Yeah.
but like I was like, whatever, it's cool. So I just, nothing happened, it just kept going.
Right.
But, you know, it's just instances like that you gotta be, if you're willing to do the dumb shit, don't be mad when something dumb happens in front of you. So just
Reaction has a consequence. Some good, some bad, some bad.
surroundings.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, bro, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Chris, for being a co-host.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully everybody had a good time.
Thank you.
I loved it, yeah.
And tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so my Instagram username is last letter, first love, last underscore letter underscore first underscore love. Shoot me a message. I love having beautiful cars on my feed. So don't be shy. I'm very, very open, very chill. So get to know each other and let's make friends. Make more friends and make more car friends.
And for all the viewers, again, thank you guys for supporting and watching. And just share with your friends and family if you like the video. Hope to catch you on the next one. Later.
See ya.